For the love of the game. For the love of the game.
Welcome to another episode, the big comeback, amen, the comeback of all times, the greatest comeback of all times. Another episode of For the Love of the Game. I'm back here with my brother, Coach Fowler, looking lovely up in the 7 cities. Look at that over there. I like that. I like that background, Coach Fowler.
Yes, sir. That's the new office for the Fowler Enterprises.
Oh man, that is nice. That is nice. That is nice. So we're gonna break things up in segments. We went and we're redoing some things, and we're gonna start this off. We have a new segment that we're calling Around the Association. Amen. And we're gonna kind of do a summer circuit wrap up. Coach Fowler, what do you see going on in the circuits today? The big thing that I've seen everybody in the groups talking about is this coach that got arrested down there in Florida, man. What's up with that, Coach Fowler?
Man, I've bounced around a couple of times with how I feel about it, because a part of me feels like I would try to protect the kids, but another part of me feels like I ain't going to jail. But again, I also, I'm thinking about, what the whole situation. I mean, if anybody hasn't listened or seen the news on this guy, basically he gets the kids in an Uber, sends them to the hotel. The adults get in a different Uber to go to the hotel or to go out or whatever. I mean, that's where it's kind of the gray area. I don't know if maybe you've heard something, Tony. I haven't heard where they actually went, but it doesn't sound to me like they went straight back to the hotel. The kids went there, the adults didn't. Kids at 4:00 in the morning are end up at 7-Eleven or a convenience store somewhere, and they snatching some snacks, some foods and candy and drink and stuff, and take off running, and end up getting caught a little bit later. The police catch them. They have them on video. Then they catch them at a hotel right by. A couple of them are standing outside. They couldn't find the other ones, so they asked the coach where the other ones were, and he said he didn't even know who they were, which got him in trouble. So yeah, man, to me, it's crazy. I mean, they're unsupervised at 4:00 in the morning, and I don't know where the coaches went, but at the same time, man, I can respect the fact that the coach was trying to help the kids, especially in that county, because they're known for, laying the law down.
Yeah.
And I would assume, especially on that population, but yeah. So I mean, it's interesting to me. I don't know, man. I bounced all over the place with how I feel about both sides. But at 4:00 in the morning, the kids shouldn't be. One, they shouldn't even be awake. You're at a basketball tournament. You're playing Puma Nationals. As raggedy of a tournament as that is. You should still be prepared for your games, man. That's an expensive trip, so you should be preparing for your games and be asleep at 4:00 in the morning.
Oh Lord have mercy, man.
I was gonna take my shot at Puma Nationals, man. I wasn't gonna miss on that opportunity.
I hear you.
They shouldn't have been down there in the first place, because they shouldn't even be playing at Puma.
Hey, you ain't right. You ain't right. Clips and I've been seeing all of the meetings and I saw how you got to that new young point guard, Italy got to meet her. her name is escaping me right now.
Hannah Hidalgo.
Hannah Hidalgo, and I've been playing Hannah Hidalgo for my babies. How has the Boo Williams tournament been going, and how's all that travel been going for you?
It's been kind of crazy, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you, we weren't expecting, this year at all. To be flying to Vegas, and then we drove to Chicago, but to fly to Vegas and there for the weekend and playing on that stage. I mean, you can't, as rough as I am on some of these, circuits, the top of the top is Nike. They're just as expensive as everybody else. They overcharge. I think we paid $6 for a bottle of Pepsi. At one of the venues, but you're playing in like the civic centers. I mean, you're playing in like the major places in these cities and whatnot. But to me, it was the best one. They put the most into it. For the most part, the officiating, was okay. I ain't gonna say they were great, but they at least looked for the most part like they cared to be there.
Right.
It was, it was a really good experience. And then around every corner, you run into somebody and we were in Chicago during the WNBA All-Star Weekend.
That's cool.
So with All-Star Weekend being there, they had a WNBA event at the same place, the McCormick Place. At the same time, this Nike tournament is going on. So the WNBA players are there for that as well. So they're just stopping by. And so Flage, Italy was excited to see her. Cordosa from the Sky. Just about anybody. I mean, all the names are escaping me, at the moment. But I mean, everywhere you turn, and the NBA players are showing up to support. When we were in Vegas, it's NBA's Summer League. So the NBA players are out there for that. And then it's Vegas. So, people are there anyway. I mean, we met Bobby Brown.
Cool.
And that was cool, man. I'll tell you a funny story, man. I come out of the bathroom and I hear Tish over there, Bobby, please. And I'm sitting there thinking, who in the world is my wife pleasing to, You know what I'm saying? And I look up and I'm trying to figure out. And then I'm like, oh man, that's Bobby Brown. Okay, go take a picture. That's cool.
That's cool.
And he was cool. She didn't even have to say please, really. I mean, she just had to, but she's a big New Edition fan, and that music's back from our time, and so I was cool, man. Regardless of the Bobby and Whitney story, I can dig the fact that she, we got a chance to take a picture with Bobby Brown.
Oh yeah,
it was cool.
Him grew up with Bobby Brown too. So.
Yeah, yes sir. So.
I'm 6 or 7 years older than you, and so I remember him hitting off, and I was like 15, 16. So
yeah,
when he hit really, really big, it was, I was around 15. My prerogative. And all the other stuff. And now it's funny. I joked. I said, now he looked like TD Jakes.
He blew up a little bit. Everybody that was looking at the pictures were trying to figure out, like, well, who is that? But I mean, if you see him, when I saw him, I knew exactly who it was. I mean, he's put on some weight. He looks different, but he blew up. But
I don't judge nobody. You know why? He had his addiction. I dealt with my food addiction. I'm coming out of mine, and he came out of his. We all got struggled with something. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
it's part of life. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess the good sign of the fact that he's blowing up means that he might be off of the other stuff. So
yeah.
But no, it was overall, man. It was almost surreal. I mean, being there, on that circuit, playing against some of the best, watching her play against some of the best, and then there being NBA players, WNBA players, celebrities and things like that around. I mean, it was a cool environment, man. I think, we've been on all the other circuits, and we haven't seen anything like that.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Little sister, whole arena knows your name. Hazel eyes locked in, cool as a flame. You walk in the room, lean in your direction. Smile on the sideline, then it switch to perfection. Hands up, hoodie off, game face on. You catch that pass like the world was gone. Clock winding down and start to panic. You stay calm, cold-blooded, fantastic. One step left, and you rise. Read the room with those hazel eyes. Nadia Salah, Nadia Salah. Little sister, you the headline. Nadia Salah, Nadia Salah. From deep in the whole crowd shine. Hazel like assassin, perfect little terror. Life for the party, make the night wear better. No one does it cuter, no one does it better. Nadia Salah, Nadia Salah. Corner 3, net talk back clean. Fast break green, you make it look mean. Laugh so loud, got the bench in sync. Then you drain one more and don't even blink. You bring the spark, bring the score, bring the heat. Cute with the wind.
Our whole thing was disrupted by Courtney's injury.
Yeah.
So we were out for like 2.5, 3 months on the bigger events. And then for our oldest daughter, but then her injury got just good enough where she could play in the last tournament of the season, but it was just kind of like coming off the bench and just trying to do a little bit. And I was really proud of her because they were playing this very advanced team from Loudoun County called Team Attack. And all really long girls, very athletic girls, very I'm not trying to be mean, but kind of like it's almost like you playing like you're in that movie Avatar, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the girls are like they're very long, very tall, very athletic, and they're very well trained. You see what I mean? And so they were killing, Courtney's grassroots team, Lady Legends, and then Courtney came off the bench, and with that bad knee, the knee's still tender, and long girl draped all over her, like deep in her face, and she just drained 2 threes, and and her being able to get a shot off against someone that tall and that long with that kind of pressure on her, coming right off of an injury, it kind of gave the team and her a little bit of confidence, that there's brighter days ahead. But then I ain't gonna lie to her, Courtney's, because she was coming off the bench, and Lucy, we have a younger team, and a lot of people, need to do the work. You know what I'm saying? We got to do the work. You gotta do the work. And there's one kid there that's, like I said, is very special. But with Courtney injured, and we have a second kid who's very special, who's put in the work. A small point guard who can dribble, probably one of the best dribblers I've seen. Her name is Kamari, and then you have Lucy Occident, and so they tried to hold their own, and then Courtney really couldn't help that much, with her coming off the injury, but it allowed me, and I'll tip a hat, Coach Fowler, because it was a Puma event, and it was at Richmond, and there wasn't really anything too trifling. Like, like I understand, I know what you experienced in Florida and everything, but it was, the competition was good. They had some teams all the way from California, and there was some really solid competition there, and there was some really solid kids there. Some really special kids there that, that we faced. And, it was solid competition. At least the one in Richmond was well organized. I guess the only thing in the Greater Richmond Convention Center, I don't even know if they kind of, you could tell they laid down these temporary parquet floors.
I remember them from last year.
Yeah.
We went to that one last year as well.
Yeah, that temporary, that to me, that I just kind of look at it like, man, I don't want my kid, because it's almost like
it slides, it moves as you're moving, the floor moves.
Yeah. So I'm like, I feel like that could be an injury. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wasn't really crazy about that, especially with Courtney coming back from that knee. But we've kind of transitioned away from that, and now we're kind of getting it. Her knee's 100% now, and she's in middle school. And I've got her. I will say this: I had a little moment with her where, and coach, if you hear this, I ain't trying to go against what you're saying and everything. I understand a coach saying this to her,
Mm-hmm.
but one of the things I asked her is, and I told her, because our family, we don't have the Caroline County roots that everybody else has. And you know what it's like being in a country county. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody here, and you just moved away from it. Everybody
Yep.
in Caroline, like you have 4 or 5 families, you know, both on the white side and on the black side, that if you're connected, and you got people who've grown up here together and they've been together their whole lives, and
Yep.
they, and Courtney does not have those connections with her. So I have, and it's closed practices. So I have a little bit of concern. So I'm always asking Courtney, I was like, hey, did you win? Because I'm telling her, I say, listen, you being an outsider, you have to dominate and win every drill. You got to win every race. You've got to win. You can't give it, because if you do, the next thing then it sends a message that you're
Yeah.
not the leader of that team. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to dominate. I said, Michael Jordan. So she came back and she said, I said, did you win? Because she's coming off that knee injury. I said, did you win that? Did you win every sprint? And she was like, well, coach told me that we're all running our own race.
Uh,
So then I said,
nope.
hey, I love you, coach. He's a great guy. I said, but let me tell you this. Are you going to tell you that once we don't make D1? Are you going to tell me that? We just all ran our own race. I said, I don't want to hear all that. I said, did you? And she says, well, no, I think I came in third. I said, all right, then we need to do more jump roping until you get back where you're winning. And then she called, she came and said, I won all my sprints today, Dad. You know what I'm saying? So she got tired of hearing my lip, but I was like, I don't want to hear all of that. We're just running our own race. Nah, bump
No,
that,
really.
because in the final analysis, and here's what I even went to ChatGPT on this. I totally get it that when you're in the moment, you gotta not focus on the end goal and just focus on your performance, and not be so focused on anybody else. I get that, but there has to be some analysis after the practice,
Yeah.
so that you can gauge how well you did. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So when your dad, who's your number one fan and your advisor, asks you, did you come in first or what? I don't want to hear that. Oh, we're just all running our own. I don't want to hear all that. I want to hear how you did. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Another big development, and I mean, it's something that's been talked about in our community, and I think it's important, is I don't want to say, I mean, they still are in existence, and they have a young guy who's trying to revamp it and redo it. But it did have a big impact on girls basketball here in the North Richmond area, where Rocket is under new management, and some of the mainstays in Rocket, some of the coaches that have been there for a long time have moved on under the new management, and it's really kind of created a lot of I could say it is almost what do they say, portal season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's portal season in AAU in Richmond, because everybody is scrambling, because kind of everyone has, not everyone, but most people have left Rocket, because those 2 really big coaches have been told to move on. And then now everyone's kind of scrambling. So then MKW got a whole bunch of folks, and then Lady Legends is getting a whole bunch of folks, and and some of our, I won't say his name, but a guy who I think highly of, that you think highly of, I think he's going to Lady Legends. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just been a lot of influx, and it's been a lot going on, because with those changes at Rocket, it just kind of upset the apple cart, where everyone's kind of scrambling and kind of going in different directions. So
But what does that do for Rocket? Because I said, was it Jerron who's taking over there?
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
seen
dude.
where he's having free workouts now.
Yeah.
To
Well,
try to reel some people back in.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is the Aries family has been getting a lot of calls for a lot of people offering free workouts because everyone's trying to like everyone's scrambling trying to, and you know, everybody knows if you get free workouts and it goes well, then there's a good chance that that family may stay if you offer some. It's almost like you offer, like when I had friends who were dealers, you know, you offer the free cocaine, and you know, because you're trying to get people to get hooked on the real cocaine, you know. So
Yeah.
so everyone's scrambling and everyone's kind of going in different directions, and we're gonna stick at least for one season, you know, at least one more season. We're gonna be sticking it out with Lady Legends, just because. And I think it's a conversation or maybe even a debate we could have. Is like, for now, until my daughter, you know, we got held up by that knee. Until I feel like she dominates Richmond, like a lot of traveling and a lot of me trying to get her up to the big leagues when she really hasn't fully dominated Richmond. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, like
Yeah.
why go to the big leagues and drive 2 hours to Hampton if she hasn't dominated this area? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're gonna see how next season goes, and you know, try to get back from that injury and see how the middle school season goes. We're gonna go for that EYG event, see how that goes, and then after Lady Legends 2027 season is over, then we got to make a decision whether we want to drive to Boo or drive to Fairfax or drive to. I will say this, and you can tell me whether you see it or not. Even though I hope they don't get mad at me if they hear this, but I love Courtney's Fairfax Stars coaches, but as an organization, I don't really see Fairfax Stars making a lot of noise. Do you? And when you've been going to these EYBLs, have you seen them are the upper ones making noise, or have you been seeing any noise that they're making?
I mean, listen, here's the thing: is I don't necessarily think you have to make noise, per se. Being there, you know, they say showing up is half the battle. Well, being there is half the battle on that circuit. You know. Okay. I mean, being on the Nike circuit, just going to these events is going to help. But I have seen some adjustments. I know that Fairfax Stars had this phenomenal 2030 team.
Okay.
And they broke up.
Oh, wow.
And so everybody kind of went different ways and did their own thing. And one of the top players went to Team Takeover. The other one went to the 9th grade Fairfax Stars team, moved up. So, I mean, they've all kind of moved around, but they're still Nike. And, you know, I didn't really realize how much of a difference that does make until, you know, you actually experience it. And people do, you feel a little bit more respect when you're at the Nike events, or when somebody, you know, asks, you know, who do you play for? And, you know, it is that, you know. So, no, to answer your question with the short answer is no. I didn't see Fairfax Stars do anything major. I don't recall any of their older teams doing anything great either. Right. But that changes by the year. I mean, you know, with the portal, like you said, I mean, somebody a couple players move over to Fairfax Stars, and next thing you know, they're winning the Nike. You know, the Nike circuit. So
right. Well, I can say this: Courtney's coaches at 2032 team were just amazing. We would have loved to go back, but it's just with a certain president taking away my teleworking, then kind of makes it hard for me to drive up there. So that's the thing that kind of helped me out.
Vision. It's a brand, it's a bucket. Courtney, talk to him. Yeah. Logo range lights dimming up. first shot hit like a thunder shot. Net sing low in that echo box. Same form, same art, that more to drop. Head up, she don't never rush. Re-schemes like she reading books. One fake, whole defense shook. Find the cutter that you overlook. High IQ in a small frame. Call out threats like she call names. Seize your trap from a mile away. Turn your scheme to a hallway lane. Court vision. She see the cut before you cut. Court vision. She drop a dime, then drop a jumper. Court vision. You think you there, she there first. Court vision. From the logo, make the whole crowd burst.
The groups are talking about, and I know you and I haven't been on this circuit, but I did make me giggle a little bit, is that everyone collectively in these groups were talking about how bad the New Balance circuit was. So, and it seemed pretty comical, and it just made me kind of giggle and laugh because I was thinking, I asked Courtney and Nadia, I said, have y'all ever seen anybody wear New Balance on the court? And then Courtney's response was, I've seen a cool kid wear New Balance like in a mall, like in, you know, but she said, I've never seen anyone wear New Balance like on a court. And I even say this about, now here's the thing, even though I said something positive about the Puma circuit, right? You know, when you're playing on one of those Puma circuits, you got to wear the shoes. Yeah. Right. And I just know, like, those kids, they wearing them Pumas for that circuit on that weekend. And then as soon as that circuit is over, them kids ain't wearing. Them kids right. Are not wearing. And matter of fact, if they wore it ahead of time, they're wearing the Pumas just long enough to wear it in. You know what I'm saying? So that they're ready for the circuit. You know, so they're ready for the tournament. And then as soon as the tournament's over, I don't think kids are really wearing. You know. I don't see a lot of kids wearing Pumas, and I don't see a lot of kids wearing New Balance in the games. So I had a New Balance team come to one of our tournaments this year. Oh wow! It was hilarious. In its own way, they were they really thought like that gives them pool, man. You know, like they were flaunting the heck out of this New Balance. Circuit, like we're on the New Balance circuit, we're going to Dallas, we need a warm-up before we go to Dallas and this and that, and they ended up making it to the championship game and left early. And didn't play in the championship game because we got to rest up for Dallas, man. We appreciate you letting us come and play and this and that, but we didn't want to play that team and take any chances of injuries when we got to go to Dallas. We got to go to Dallas. He said that probably 10,000 times. And all I kept thinking was like, man, are y'all running cross country? Because I had never heard of nobody wearing New Balances on a basketball court. But they did wear New Balances. I will say that when they were playing, they had like New Balance basketball shoes, and not anything I would wear or I would trust because that's cross training. Really, they're running shoes and cross training. Right. But I just thought I can't even remember the name of the team, man. They were from Northern Virginia or something like that. But it was hilarious. And then to come to find out how bad New Balance was, it's like y'all are outside of your realm, man. This is not what y'all do. You know, Puma, you stick to like soccer. Isn't that what Pumas are? Soccer shoes? You know, New Balance, stick to running and cross training, you know, but trying to run these basketball tournaments. It's turning into a joke, really, man. And everybody's on a circuit. And so I'm not surprised to hear that New Balance turned out to be another Puma. Right. Now, in all of your travels, did you see anybody that really, really impressed you? Did you see a team that impressed you? And did you see a kid that impressed you where you were like, whoa? The two kids that we followed the most while we were out, man, and it was just, they just are fun to watch, is Gigi Banks.
She's one of the top players. She'll be a McDonald's All-American, probably has an offer from every school in the country. And everybody wants to see her. That's where Kim Mulkey was all the time. That's where Don Staley was all the time. Your boy Gino came and saw her. But yeah, so it's like that's who she's narrowed her list down to like 4, but she's phenomenal, man. She plays at St. James in high school. So she's from Virginia. Well, she's from Delaware, I think, and she moved to Virginia and she plays at St. James and she plays for Team Durant. And then Jayla King, who plays for Team Takeover. And that Team Takeover team is phenomenal. And I'll be honest with you, I think they went undefeated all year long and then lost in the Final Four of Nike Nationals. So the Nike tournament we were just at. But Jayla King is kind of like it's interesting because her Instagram is like Underdog Jayla. And it's like an underdog story for real, man. Like nobody knew who she was. She was at EYG a couple years ago, I think Italy's first year at the EYG. And it's not that nobody knew who she was, but she just wasn't a big name like that, you know. And then she went to McNamara High School. And we saw her play this past December. And I don't know if she had any offers or how many offers she had. But by the end of the high school season, she had quite a few offers. And now she scored 45 in New Orleans in one game. And that Monday, Tuesday that everybody got back, you get on Instagram and this school offered her, this school offered her, this school offered her, this school offered her. And now she's pretty much got offers from everywhere. But man, she's fun to watch too, man. Those two players I would say probably impressed us the most, as we were watching some of the other games. But yeah, those are the two players. Jayla King and Gigi Banks would probably be the two that were the most impressive.
Now, what positions do they play?
They're both wings, guards. Gigi could probably play anywhere on the wing, point all the way to the 3 or 4. They both have a little bit of size to them as well. I mean, not post size, but nice guard size. But both of them are guards.
Wow. Well, I'll say, and I wish I could get this young girl's name, but there is a team called Thunder and Lightning, and there is 2 kids that they were 2031 because my kid plays on the 2030. She's 2032, but she plays up 1 year, and there are 2. And I'll just give you an explanation. There, there's a forward who she's around 5'10", 5'11", and she plays on this Thunder and Lightning team, and she was amazing. Like, I'm almost glad Courtney's gonna have a little time before she has to play against someone like that, because this girl, she was playing center and power forward, but she was taking the guards and picking them up full court and just picking their pocket at will.
Yeah.
It was almost like she was playing a different game. And And then there was a Spanish girl who was on that same team, Thunder and Lightning, and they're from either San Diego area. And this Spanish girl is probably one of the best leaders that I've seen, where she literally was directing traffic. She was hitting her open shot, but then she was just finding ways to get her team open. And she literally was like a little bit like a Tyrese Halliburton, where she was very impressive. So those two kids, and matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll do the research and find the name of those two kids, because I don't want to just say something, but those kids were very impressive. I told Courtney, I was like, hey, listen, you need to speak up and look at that woman, that girl, she's leading the team with her mouth. You see what I'm saying? And Courtney likes to kind of she's got to learn to speak up. She's got to learn to speak up. So she started to nudge her teammates, but she's got to keep talking and get louder. That's, and I'll say as an organization, that team Attack out of Loudoun County, they made me look them up, and they've got something different going on. They've got their own academy where it's a basketball academy where you could tell somebody rich has invested
that Loudoun County money. That's what
that Loudoun County money, and it shows right there. If you got girls that are willing to work, and you got the right training staff, and did I see any kid there who was like a freak athlete who did anything independently? Like, for instance, Thunder and Lightning, the tall girl who dominated and could pick. She's an incredible athlete. That point guard I mentioned, the Spanish point guard, she's an incredible leader. Like, they individually did incredible things. But that team Attack, I didn't see anyone individually who was just blowing my mind away. It's just, you had 12 deep,
collectively
highly trained girls where everybody knows their assignment, and everybody's moving that rock, and everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing at the right time. And I will say this about the team Attack. Dude, you're up by 30, and you're up at the scoring table fussing about something, and you're the coach. You know what I'm saying? I was like, why don't you go sit down? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You're up by 30. You already got your foot in our behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you even up at the scoring table when you're up by 30? Come on.
Right.
But that's what I say. It was Puma, but people like Team Attack and people like those kids, Thunder and Lightning, that, there's still talent there, and there's still good things that are going on. Now, any trend? Did you notice any like style trends, or did you? Oh, here's a big question. All right, here's a tough one. How many bonnets did you see? At when you were at the convention, did you see any bonnets? Did you see any? You know what I'm saying? Because that's been a big thing people been fussing about lately.
That I haven't. I didn't.
Okay.
No. Now that I'm looking back and trying to think on that one, no, man. I know that's a big thing right now.
Right.
I've even seen where like colleges are banning them and stuff. But no, I didn't see that. I would say probably Um, the biggest trend, man, the biggest trend. I mean, the TikTok thing is still out there. You know, the girls doing the TikToks and whatnot. Italy was able to get Gigi Banks, and her and Gigi actually talk a little bit on Instagram or whatnot. They follow each other, and she was able to get Gigi Banks to do a TikTok with her, and that kind of blew up a little bit. So that was cool. But you see that everywhere. You know, um, as far as other trends, man, what you got? Did you see anything? You see anything out
Um,
there?
no, I didn't see any. I didn't see any big trends. I will say this. My wife and I saw something pretty. You know, it was just at a. It's nothing compared to what you've been experiencing, but for all us local Richmond folk, um, they there is a brother who held this thing called the Commonwealth Games.
Uh-huh.
And the Commonwealth Games, I can, my kids were pretty impressed because they went there on a Friday and they had a little parade. And my kids are less mature than, they're a year behind. My
Hmm.
oldest is a year behind Italy, and so they really are still impressed with getting a lot of swag. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? When you can get a whole bunch of free stuff and like
Yeah.
they're giving away a whole bunch, like they think that that's just really the biggest thing in the world. And so they did really well at University of Richmond. And, Courtney's knee kind of came back right in time for University of Richmond camp. So they won all kind of awards at University of Richmond. And um, then they went to that Commonwealth game. And I'll there's a little story I'll say, and just kind of shows we all got some work to do. Nadia did really well in the first two games, but then they scheduled a 6 p.m. game after those first two games, and I could kind of tell already Nadia had decided that she was already done for the day after the first two games. You see what I'm saying? And she gets out there and she is not sprinting back on defense, and they're playing a team that they already beat, and that team is not skilled, but they are, I hate to say it, they got some thug in them. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So they came and they were mad because we beat them. Nadia's little fourth and fifth grade team, or now fifth and sixth grade team, beat them the first time, and then they came and just thumped Nadia and thumped all the girls. You know what I'm saying? Because they just weren't. They were not. They weren't. The girls were mad because they lost the first game,
Yeah.
and they were not skilled, but they just came in there and Detroit Piston my baby, and Nadia was definitely Scottie Pippen with the migraine game. You know what I'm saying? Nadia just I ain't gonna lie, she punked out on me. So I was very disciplined, and I waited because the book said you're supposed to wait 24 hours
Yeah.
before you fuss at your kid, and she punked out at 6 p.m. on Saturday. I waited till 6:01 on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And I told her, I was fussing. I was like, if you ever don't run back on defense again, you're gonna lose your iPad for a week. I don't want to ever see you not running back on defense. You don't ever do that. And I said, don't you ever let somebody take your heart like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just will say this: it was the classic, and it's a tough thing to mitigate. Nadia and her teammates are really, really good girls. They're
Yeah.
really, really good girls, and they're suburban good girls. And then they were playing this team from the hood, and they got their head thumped. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got their head smacked. So it's good. I like them. I like my baby being around good girls, but they got to dig deep. And to be honest with you, I think even I have to kind of show a little bit of leadership on this, is because I got to let some parents know, like, hey, listen, man, we got to get here early. You got to come on. You got to get these kids here early. You got to come on, man.
Yeah.
Like if you're not dedicated to it, then how you expect them to be there? And then here's the thing. Here's what I don't get about these parents, man. I don't understand. Why are you gonna drive all the way there just to lose, and you're not gonna put the kid in the best position to win? You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like I don't want to hang around nothing that's losing. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I don't
Exactly.
want, like I get my kid there early. I want her shooting layups early. I want her shooting, I want to be locked in. I don't want myself to be any reason why my baby don't do well. You see what I'm saying? And I just say some parents, man, they just like like it's 15 minutes before a game, and I hope they hear this. And some stuff I hope that it don't get back. This I hope do get back, because then they just lollygagging in, like 15 minutes before the game, and then the other team madder than a hornet, and they just they putting up their layups and they're warming up, and then we just lollygagging in, just like like, oh, we'll get here when we get here.
I haven't ever. Most teams say be there an hour early and stretch and get the team in the right mindset and stuff. Like I've never seen a team. I don't think we've ever been on a team where they didn't require Italy to be there an hour, at least an hour early. Shoot, this coach that we got now, man, he's like an hour and a half, 2 hours early. They have a team meeting. They do stretches and talk and do all this other stuff, and then they warm up. That's rough at a 9 o'clock game,
Amen. Amen.
But we'll do it.
Amen. Well, I think here's what, like, they were like that for the first 2 games, and then there was a long break between the 2 p.m. game and the 6 p.m. game.
Yeah,
we had already beat the team once.
Gotcha.
So then I think it created a lackadaisical attitude where they could everyone just feels like they can lollygag back in, and then we got waxed. You see what I'm saying? And I don't like that. So I'm now that we're not at Rocket anymore, hopefully we get rid of some of the folks who are not as dedicated, and we can lock in and for Nadia's team, we got some more hardcore, like it's a little bit more hardcore, because Coach Tim Dowdy and CJ have more autonomy now that they're out of, Rockets. I'm not trying to be mean and Jerron, if you hear this, I'm sure you're going to change it, and I'm sure that's a thing of the past. I'm talking about old Rocket. They had these things where, if you pay, then the kid gets equal time regardless of their skill level and all this other stuff. And, I'm tired of that. I don't want to, it should be a meritocracy. How much do you work? Are you putting it into work or not? You see what I'm saying? So now we're going to have a new segment. And just so y'all know, me and Coach Fowler do not hate each other. Amen. We do not dislike each other. And to be honest with you, Coach Fowler and I could argue on either side of this. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a weekly debate. And we're going to, a matter of fact, let me set the timer for 10 minutes. Amen. Now, Coach Fowler is going to work on trying to get me someone. There's a dude that we'll talk about later that it'll be a little easier for me to debate my brother. Amen. But there's going to be a dude that I think I can debate a little easier. But me and Coach Fowler, we kind of could go on either side of this, but this is going to be our weekly debate section. Amen. Because we kind of hit the other sections and I messed it up. I apologize, Coach Fowler. I done messed up your order on the other sections because we jumped ahead on the other sections sometimes. But this weekly debate section, the debate we're going to have is, should players do a lot of travel before the 9th grade? So I'm going to argue no, and Coach Fowler's going to argue yes. So go ahead, Coach Fowler. What are your thoughts on players traveling before the 9th grade and getting that exposure before the 9th grade?
Well, I see the benefits of no, but I've always, even with my travel teams and the kids that I've had, I've always pushed traveling and getting out, going and playing in other areas. To me, when you play school ball, when you play rec ball, and all of that, you're going to play the local kids. You know what I'm saying? You're going to play those kids over and over and over and over and over again. Those are the kids you're going to be playing in school ball for the rest of your life if you stay in that local area. Right. So why pay $1,000 to $2,000 to be on a AAU basketball team just to stay and play those same kids in AAU ball as well? And if everybody took the mindset of, no, you shouldn't travel before 9th grade, then that's what everybody's going to do. They're going to just play each other. So you might as well just get the YMCA membership and go play there, in my opinion. You're not just competing with the local kids for scholarships. You're not competing with them. You're competing with people, across the region, across the country. So to me, I feel like it's necessary for you to get out, and play against that competition. And you said it yourself, Tony. You said it earlier in the show. You're gonna keep your daughter with the Legends for one more year because you want to see if she can dominate Richmond first or whatever. So you said that, but what happens when you dominate Richmond before 8th grade, before 9th grade? If you're the best player in the gym, you need to find a new gym. So you got to get out and travel. And so that's my thing is I think you need to be out, you need to be gauging yourself against some of the top players in the country, some of the top players in the region. You need to play, different competition. And you might be humbled, but at the same time, at least especially if you're dominating the local gyms. So I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, Italy's putting up 40 in middle school ball. We could easily stay local and she could continue to do that, with where we're at. But we had to go to Richmond to find more competition. And then in Richmond, she started doing better there. So we had to go further. Sometimes you got to get out and travel. Sometimes you got to, if you want to get better, it takes getting out and traveling and playing different competition and better competition. So to me, it would be a no-brainer that you get out and play against that competition. And then on top of that, man, it's a good experience for the kids to get out and see the world. A lot of kids, you'd be surprised on these teams how so many kids have not left Virginia. Some may not have even left Richmond. And then they get the opportunity to go play, especially like I'll just use the EYBL circuit, and they get to go to Vegas and get to go to Chicago. I mean, it's obvious those guys from Maryland ain't never been to Florida. Not that part. So now they big spit. They listen. They learn that everybody ain't like y'all. Everybody ain't like Maryland. So
that was a good one. Hey, but too much travel. That's why they in jail, though.
That's a good twist. You flipped it on me right there. But yeah, if they would have stayed at home, they'd be.
They were trying to make up the money because they couldn't afford the trip, yo.
Exactly.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Now, for the sake of this argument, it's always hard for me and Fowler to argue because other than R. Kelly and Bobby Knight, me and Fowler really don't disagree on much. But for the sake of this argument, I'm gonna try to go hard. All right. So here's the thing. Everybody listening, if you are making $200,000 or more a year, everything Coach Fowler said. If you got Coach Fowler pockets, then yes, you should go and do. If you make over $200,000 a year, listen to Coach Fowler. But for all the rest of us plebeians, all right, who got to make that money stretch, amen. Brother Tony, I got a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old, and I got to make it, like Keith Sweat said, I got to make it last, all right? I got to make it last for another 8 years. And as I am making things last another 8 years, it's all about stretching that budget out. And until my baby can travel to a place where I'm going to go and see some recruiters over there on the side looking at my baby, then I don't need to be traveling. All right. So I just share this is I have seen and one of the wisest decisions, because like I said, on our current team, there's one future D1 player. I'm hoping there's two future D1 players in Courtney. You know what I'm saying? And then there's like 2 or 3 other players that are some hard workers. And then we got a lot of players who they play other sports and, we're not really ready. You see what I'm saying? And one of the wisest things our coach did was he was about to drive us, or we were about to go all the way to Indiana just to catch L's, amen, all weekend long, amen. So I would just say this, is if your pockets are deep and you just want to travel and go on a vacation and then slap basketball in there with it, go ahead and do your thing, amen. If your pockets are deep, go ahead and do your thing and go on that travel. Like, for instance, at Rocket, there's some rich folks who they got Myrtle Beach timeshares. So they went, guess what they did? They went down to Myrtle Beach and they got smacked around because Rocket wasn't ready. And they got smacked around down there in Myrtle Beach, but they had their little luxury timeshares and they could hang out at the timeshare, and it was all about going to the beach. And they just got smacked around down there in Myrtle Beach because they sure didn't do nothing in the tournament. You see what I'm saying? So I share that with you because it all depends on how deep your pocket is. For those of us, I've got to be strategic. I'm on a one salary, my wife, there's been many benefits. I can see the benefits in my kids' behavior, you know what I mean? Because my wife stayed home and, there's a lot of benefits from homeschooling and my wife staying home. But in the last 12 years, we have lost, I did the math, Coach Fowler. I have lost $1 million in income. You see what I'm saying? We have lost $1 million in income in the last 12 years. So I've been we making it on one salary, and until we have the funding, I'm gonna tactically play local, have my baby dominate locally. And then once she dominates locally and she gets older, where she can go, and because here's the thing, when I spend that money to go to Chicago, when I spend that money to go to Vegas, when I spend that big money, because let me tell you something, y'all, Coach Fowler, man, them trips, he been going New Orleans, Las Vegas, Chicago, and even with EYBL helping out a little bit, them things get up in you. That travel get up in you. Amen. So if you've got to make it the long route, and you've got to also pay for trainer, because here's one thing, my kids ain't 6'2". You see what I'm saying? So they need, and I don't have Coach Fowler skills. So I can't, I'm 53. I can't get down there and teach my kid how to get low and low pound crab dribbles and all this other stuff. So guess what? I got to pay for trainers. I got to pay $25, $30 an hour for trainers, 4-5 days a week. So I spend around $400 a month for trainers. So I got to make it last. And as I make it last, the plan is stay local until I can get my babies to them live periods, or them, what do you call them, live actions or live periods.
Live periods, yeah.
Live periods. And because I just saw this coach, she said, I went to the 14 and U, and there wasn't no college coaches at the 14 and U live, like there was a live, but the college coaches really ain't showing up a lot for the 14 and U and 13 and U, and they show up for the 17U, 16U, maybe 15U. You see what I'm saying? They're showing up for the older brackets.
Now
So,
we had at least 4 Division I college coaches watch us play while we were in Chicago.
That's
Just to take away, and we were 13U, Tony.
That's good. All right, well, that's a good touche. That's a good touche. Hey, you got me at an advantage because I ain't been out there. But they can't really make offers at this stage. You know what I'm saying? So I think Coach Fowler is partially right. Is if you got the money and you got the resources, then I think you should travel early because it's a great experience. Who doesn't like to travel? Hey man, I love to travel, especially with my kids, especially basketball, especially Chicago, especially Las Vegas, especially the food alone in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we all have to, some of us, we got to budget and we gotta go and try to make it last. So for y'all who's listening, if you're on a budget and you need to think about, is your kid, and let's just, me and Coach Fowler are pretending to make this into a real debate. Italy is ready to travel, and Italy is ready to be showcased. You see what I'm saying? I think Coach Fowler and we can agree on this. Some of the kids, you're paying money, the parents are paying money to travel, and they ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? Not on the EYBL circuit, but I'm talking about some of these.
No, there's some on the EYBL circuit. There's some on our team.
So that's a lot of money to pay just to see your kid on the bench. You see what I'm saying? Like that's a lot of stuff to go through,
Mhm.
and then your kid is on the bench and they ain't getting no shine. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Just ask yourself, you know, I think ask yourself how have they done locally?
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I still believe in traveling Virginia, Maryland, DC. You know what I'm saying? Maybe North Kakalaki a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But um, I'm and here's the thing, I might be stuck having to, because I have to go where my coach goes. But if my coach asks me, I want to say we need to try to keep it low. We ain't, if Coach Matt asks me, I'm gonna be like, we need to try to keep it low because there's no sense in us trying to go and run all over the place just to be catching L's. You see what I'm saying? Because our team needs to gel and we need to, we need to get a couple more workers and we need to kind of do some things. So I think we both made our point. You have any rebuttals there, Coach Fowler? You had a great rebuttal about the three sitting up in there. That's a hard.
I'm just saying, look, the biggest thing, is that with the money situation, for the record, I ain't big pockets either. I ain't big money David either. We went to the store and we got sandwich meat, bread, mayonnaise. We got Pop-Tarts and stuff like that. And then we would sneak some food. Well, you ain't sneaking because you can have it. For breakfast,
Right.
you just take some of the breakfast food back upstairs with you. And there you go. You got breakfast dinner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, I have to do a whole seminar on how to save money on these things, man, because listen, we got it down to an art where we figure this thing out. Because the biggest thing you spend money on these trips outside of the wristbands is food. And so if you could cut your food back and you cut the price of your food back, then that's where you could save money traveling or whatever. But you're gonna pay that food money even if you go 2 hours away and you have to stay in a hotel or whatever. So it's ways around that part of it. But no, if you're not competing locally, I mean, I'll give in on this one. I'll say this: if you are getting beat every weekend by teams that are local, you're probably going to get beat worse if you travel out and play in other tournaments like that. I mean, I'm thinking AAU is not for everybody either. So if you are a legit AAU team that is competitive and can compete and has players that should be competing and at some point is going to play at the next level, you need to get out and travel because you need to play against better competition. You need to play against other competition. But if you can't beat anybody locally, you probably shouldn't be playing AAU anyway.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. For me, I feel like I'll be more ready to travel if we can. When we play MKW in like this winter, that MKW elite team, I don't even think we don't even have to beat them if we can get within 7 points, 5 points, make it competitive. Then
But let's be real, man. That MKW team shouldn't be playing locally. That MKW, they're charging these kids and they're not playing anywhere.
Right.
And to me, if you have a team like that, even if your organization doesn't travel, even if your organization doesn't go to certain tournaments or whatever, you need to be trying to get that single team into bigger tournaments, playing against better competition. It's doing them. Listen, man, I was debating how many of the trophies I wanted to throw away that I had in my garage when I was moving this past weekend, because I've had them for over 20 years now.
Right.
And it's like they've just sat in the garage or sat in the basement. I don't have a trophy case or anything like that. And that's what's going to happen to these girls' medals and things like that. They keep going and beating these local teams to get, they need to get out and play. And that team is doing all of those players a disservice by letting them just continue to play locally and letting them just run through these tournaments that they're running through. Because when they get out and play, they still are competitive. They may not win the championship, but they're still competitive. But if that particular team, if you're talking about the 2031 team, that 2031 team needs to step it up. They need to put those girls out on a bigger platform.
They are an impressive group of girls. They are.
Yeah, and they've been playing long enough to where they have some camaraderie and whatnot. And they're lucky because they've had some loyalty. Most any other team would have lost two or three of those players.
Right.
because they would have went and played for a bigger program.
Yeah.
You know, so they're lucky, but that's only going to last forever. I mean, I don't think those girls stay there till the 12th grade year playing bum tournaments locally and continue to just run through teams. At some point, you know, they're gonna want something better.
Logan on the break, yeah. Logan, yeah. Logan on the break, lights dim, crowd scream. Left hand cold, heart locked on the dream. Downhill queen in the nighttime gleam. All black lane with a steel rim screen. 2033, set the date, that's the prophecy. Logan in the gym, chasing ghosts like an odyssey. Left hand wicked cross cut like a guillotine. Dribble so mean, turn the court to a crime scene. But now I'm with the rock, see the sweat on the glass. Every cone, every line, she been living in the labs. Shadow in the rafters, you can feel what she's on. Every step, every breath, say the weak don't belong. Hard nights, no shine, just the echo of the rim. She been running through the pain till the noise get dim. Got the world on her back, but she moves so clean. In the dark of the paint, she the downhill queen. Downhill queen in the half light, crashing through the lane. Hear the shoes scream loud, feel the weight of the pain. When the lights go low and the crowd turn mean, she gon' carve her name deep in the floorboards. Downhill queen, heart cold, eyes locked on the rim. If you step in the path, then the future go dim. When the buzzers sound out and the echoes still ring, they gon' whisper through the years about the downhill queen. Defense like a chain link fence round her soul. She a shadow on your hip, she devour control. Every dribble that you take, she can smell your fear. Turnovers in the dark, hear the crowd's cold cheer. Her pops rep the coast, iron pride in his veins. Purple gold in his eyes, teaching fight through the strain. Her mama with the pink and the green, steel in her spine. Both sides of the flaming Logan's bloodline. Big sister like a lighthouse out in the storm. Every warning like a scar, keep her focus sharp torn. They been walking through the mud, now they guard in the dream. Family crest carved deep in that hardwood sheen. Hard nights, no shine, just the echo of the rim. She been running through the pain till the noise get dim. Got the world on her back, but she moves so clean. In the dark of the pain, she the downhill queen. In the half light, crashing through the lane. Hear the shoes scream loud, feel the weight of the pain. When the lights go low and the crowd turn mean, she gon' carve her name deep in the floorboards. Downhill queen, heart cold, eyes locked on the rim. If you step in the path, then the future go dim. When the buzzers sound out and the echoes still ring, they gon' whisper through the years about the downhill queen. Teammates in the huddle with the jaws all tight. They've been bleeding on the lines for a flicker of light. Loyalty in the dark, that's a different kind of flame. They ain't chasing just a score, they rewriting the game. Logan looking in their eyes, see the scars they hide. Every loss, every doubt, every long bus ride. If the world turn cold, they gon' ride as a pack. If the scoreboard lie, they still got each other's back. Late nights, clock stuck, feel the weight on her chest. All the whispers, all the hype, but she fold the press. So she laces up slow, here's the bounce of the ball. Knows the dark in this game, try to swallow them all. Left hand like a curse, like a spell on the court. When she split two souls, crowd breaking the retorts. Downhill through the lane like she running from fear, but she really chasing crowns only few can wear. 2033 in the smoke of her mind, see the banners in the rafters when she grinds. Confined, if the dream ever shatters, she gon' bleed in the scenes. But tonight under lights, she the queen of the screams. Downhill queen in the half light, crashing through the lane. Hear the shoes scream loud, feel the weight of the pain. When the lights go low and the crowd turn mean, she gon' carve her name deep in the floorboards. Downhill queen, heart cold, eyes locked on the rim. If you step in the path, then the future go dim. When the buzzers sound out and the echoes still ring, they gon' whisper through the years about the downhill queen. Logan Jackson in the dark, see the torch in her hand. From a focus, from a sis, from a grind in the sand. If the night grow thick and the world turn lean, she's still storming down the lane as a downhill queen.
Now I got a question. Has this ever been done? That while they stay in while they, they have a Richmond locale, could an EYBL sponsor a team and put the EYBL label on someone? So let's say Fairfax Stars. Could Fairfax Stars go and say, yeah, you're MKW, but you are our EYBL team, even though you stay in Richmond? Has that ever been done? Have you ever seen that happen before?
I haven't ever seen anything like that done. The most I've seen is where they've done like satellite programs.
Okay.
Where they would be like when Italy played when Rocket had Elevate Elite.
Yes.
When they were Elevate Elite, they were Elevate Elite Richmond.
Okay.
So that's what they would do. that didn't make them all a, Adidas team. They weren't 3SSB because they were Elevate Elite, but you can get in tournaments that you couldn't get in if you weren't attached to them.
Okay.
So MKW, it wouldn't, but I don't think Ford will ever give up his name MKW to be Elevate Elite or to be, Boo Williams Richmond, or something like that. I don't know if he would give that up, but being a satellite team for those programs can help you get in tournaments you might not be able to get into just being an independent.
Okay. All right. Well, now we have a real talk segment here, and it's something that has provoked your interest. It's something that people are talking about. I think our friend Scout John has been talking about this, and the topic is nobody wants to admit it, but some parents are chasing exposure instead of development. So what do you have to say about that, Coach Fowler?
I guess, I mean, it really is. It's another one of those things where it's not for everybody, man. AAU is not for everybody. Exposure is not for everybody because you can get exposed. You're running out there trying to get exposure, and you're not ready for it. And it's I need to be in front of the scouts. I need to do this. And again, you can't even compete locally, and you're trying to go out and get exposure somewhere else. When you said you mentioned, and I appreciate you saying that about Italy, that she's ready to go out and do that. There's a lot that isn't,
right?
And they're sitting here promoting. Tony, there's a girl that, it comes from her mama, but she promoted how many points a minute she scored. And it's like, who does that? Have you ever seen that stat before?
I've never seen that before. No.
If I was a college coach, and she posted it on Instagram, if I was a college coach, I would laugh at that. You know what I'm saying? I would laugh at that. And it's trying to get exposure, and it's like you're using fake stats. You're fudging things to try to make a college coach be more interested, and you're not even ready. You're a lot of them, you want exposure, but you're not even the top 5 on your team. You're coming off the bench. There's just a lot of other things that needs to be done before the exposure piece comes into play. And, there's weaknesses that Italy has that I think, is she ready for exposure? Talent-wise, absolutely. Mental toughness, she needs a little help there. She's got to get this, these emotions under wrap. She's got to get out of her head. But a lot of kids suffer with that. So I mean, there's a lot of things that go along with it that you need to get under control before you start worrying about exposure. And colleges can offer middle school players. I mean, we were just laughing because it seemed like Norfolk State offered every single player that went to their elite camp. And people go to those for exposure, and the elite camp is basically paying the college coach's salary.
Right.
That's where they're making extra money, that by having these elite camps. How do you get more kids to come to your camp?
Right.
You offer the ones that come.
Right.
You don't have to fulfill that offer. You know what I'm saying? That coach at Norfolk State going to be there in 5 years?
Right.
Probably not. The last coach that was there is now at Auburn. You go to Norfolk State to get a bigger job. Right. So you don't have to fulfill that offer because it doesn't matter. But kids go there for exposure, thinking they're getting exposure for a coach that's looking to bounce in a couple of years anyway.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that kids do that to try to get extra exposure, and it's just stop, get some help. Focus on development, and of course, why is my daughter on the EYBL circuit? Because we want exposure. We want to get that. But do I feel like basketball wise, Italy's ready to start getting exposure? Absolutely. Am I the only person that feels that? Sometimes I've always wondered, was I that delusional parent? But we continue to get, confirmation that other people see it and say the same thing, and because as soon as she has a bad game, I'm like, man, maybe she ain't good enough. Maybe, we made a mistake. Maybe this ain't it, and I get mad at her because it's like, why are we out here doing this and you're having a bad game or something, but I think that if you're ready, you'll get confirmation. Exposure will find you. And going out and chasing it instead of actually going with you got to develop along the way. And, if you keep putting the development off to try to get the exposure, a lot of these people saying the tournaments that they're going to, we like to go to Spooky Nook because college coaches go there, or we like to go to Big Shots because college coaches be there and this and that. And then you go and get beat by 50.
Yeah.
Do you think what college coach just sat there through that beat down and said one of your players was good enough to come there? None.
Right.
Get the development piece first.
Amen. Oh, separate issue. I saw y'all got to chop it up with Mr. KP Pannell. What any words of wisdom you wanted to pass on, or?
We know KP now basically on on a friend basis. I mean, he sees us, he comes and finds us and, daps us up, hugs us, takes his, I don't want to say annual, but his traditional picture with Italy. Every tournament he's at and she's at, they end up finding each other and taking a picture with each other. But the dude just, I mean, he just comes up with some of the best quotes ever, he always has something good. But I guess the main thing with him is, when you're coming to these places, he always tries to reiterate that, you don't want to come to be seen. You want to come to be remembered, so if you're coming to these things, don't come to be seen, come to be remembered. Italy actually even got a shirt made with that on it just because he said it. And that's kind of the things that he just continues to pound is like, if you're here just to be seen, everybody gets that. Everybody gets seen. You want to be the one that's remembered. So, but KP, yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's a real good dude.
That's good. Now, we have a segment here called "What's Got You Heated." Amen. And
so, Tony,
yes,
what's got you heated?
All right, here's what's got me heated, and this really ticks me off, and I can't say it, and I'm gonna speak in code regarding who's the one that's got me heated on this one. But I'll just share this. Courtney used to play, and so I'm gonna say all good things because I'm talking about good kids here. Courtney used to play on Yay, with Mackenzie,
yeah.
Right? And you know what I would tell as a responsible, objective parent? You know what I would tell Courtney? I'll say, Mackenzie is the star. Until you get way much better, defer to Mackenzie, and then you are you're Scottie Pippen. Mackenzie's Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? As an objective parent, I could see just how good Mackenzie was, and she was, a level above my baby. You see what I'm saying? And I love my baby, but I can be objective. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then my baby, she's been playing with a 6'1" future D1 player, Lucy. The French way to say it is Lucy Occident, but the way that they say it, Occident. Amen. Mm-hmm. Lucy Occident. Lucy Occident is a future D1 player. I have no doubt. And you know what I tell my baby? You better get that ball to Lucy. Amen. And then if it pops back out to you, hit that 3-pointer. Mm-hmm. But the first thing you should be doing is getting that ball to Lucy. Yeah. And then my Nadia plays with Tim Dowdy's Annie, mm-hmm. and with a very special player. We had Junior Jackson on here, Logan Jackson. And I was like, Nadia, get in there, help them out. Just realize Logan's the star of that team. And Annie's, Annie is who you should be trying to one day become as good as Annie. But you're the third option, but make sure you drill that 3-pointer. And so I always try to be objective, and I try to give advice that is conducive to forming a good team, because I want my daughters to be good teammates, and in the end, I want them to win.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what ticks me off, Coach Fowler?
What's that?
Is there's some parents who ain't got that objectivity. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then their kids have, the kids haven't put in the work, and they haven't put in the work, but then they want to go out there and shoot more than Courtney, or they want to go out there and shoot more than Logan, Annie, and Nadia. You see what I'm saying? And they haven't put in the work. You see what I'm saying? But they want the kid to go out there and gun it, even though they haven't done the work.
Yep.
And that's what drives me. That's really what got me heated. And here's the thing. I can't tell the parents off, because then that would hurt team dynamics. You see what I'm saying? But it's almost like that the parents have told them. It's almost like before practice start, you almost know the parents have told them, hey, you just as good as so-and-so. Just you go and just put it up there. You can just have confidence. There's a phrase, it was like, hope is not a strategy. You see what I'm saying? Right. And if you ain't put in the work, then why are you expecting the kid? I've had my wife with her bad back at 52 years old goes and rebounds for Courtney even when we can't get a trainer.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about 400 shots. I'm talking about 90 minutes to 2 hours sometimes. Running 52 years old, running after rebounds for her kid. Me, not the greatest shape in the world, and my kids even make fun of me because I rebound like Frankenstein, science project, amen? So I'm rebounding all slow and everything, but guess what? 53 years old, chasing them rebounds so that they can be the best version that they can be. But you don't want to do that work.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't want to pay the money for a trainer to do that work. But then you want your kid to go up there and hot dog it, even though they ain't done the work. You tick me off.
Listen.
I wish I could. And you know what? I might just save this, and I might wait till my kid graduates, and then I'm going to find some of these parents and tell them off, because then it can't hurt my kid. You see what I'm saying? But I might wait 8 years and just tell them off. We all 62 years old. I might just tell them off later on.
Right.
I don't want to hurt Courtney. But it just drives me crazy. If you're not willing to do the work, then why are you telling your kids to be out there hot dogging it? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach Fowler.
Yeah, I was going to listen, man. I was going to tell you preaching today, Pastor. Because that is, man, that is what we've been dealing with. And the same kid I was telling you that keeps the points per minute. Her mama says exactly that, and she don't even hide it. Like she got a little book that she would hold with all of the player steals, turnovers, and all of that. And everybody's trying to figure out what's going on in that book. And lo and behold, I see an I, and I see an N. Now her daughter's name written all the way out, but the other players, I'm like, I pay attention. She's taking stats of everybody that plays the same position as her daughter, and then she takes it to not just keeps it. She takes it to the coach and says, "This is why my baby should be playing more. This is why my daughter should be playing more," and so she plays half the minutes of the other players and has one less turnover, and she should be getting the minutes. Why are you hoping somebody else has a downfall so your child can play when it should be? This is a team sport. Now, granted, her other daughter plays Division I golf.
Right.
So maybe she should go play Division I golf or go play golf so she can go Division I, because that's an individual sport.
Right.
But when you play in a team sport, you want everybody to do well.
Right.
Another kid goes in for her daughter. She throws a fit. She jumps up. I can't believe this. I can't believe it. What did she do wrong? And it's like she's been in for the last 7 minutes. Somebody else got to play. You know what I'm saying? She's tired. She needs a break. She ain't do nothing wrong. She just needs a break. But she guns. And she just started doing that in New Orleans. Gunning. Every time, she don't even have to look at the rim, Tony. It don't even matter. She just catches it, throws that thing up. And it's like, you are in 7th grade and you think that a coach is going to look at that and think, you want this notoriety and you want to get recruited and exposure and all this, and you think a coach is going to look at that right there. She shot us out of probably 4 games this year.
Wow.
Out of it. Like completely out of the game. She goes in, we up or we down by 1 or 2 points, and she comes out and now it's 14, 15 point lead. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy work, man. That's crazy work.
So nah, man, that's we fought that battle. So listen, that's got me angry too, Tony.
And I will say this, a gift that I have, I think, is objectivity, almost to the point where I can depress my family because I'm very blunt. Like when they ain't really hitting on nothing, I'll let my family know, like, hey, listen, you ain't hitting on nothing, you know. And Kim is more delusional, where Kim, you know, her babies have never done anything wrong in life. You understand what I'm saying? But I am one of those where I even had to tell Kim one time, because I had to tell Kim one time, Kim, you were telling me how this games was going, and now I'm seeing. So I was like, can I count on you to give me an accurate forecast of what's happening or not? Kim is such a positive person that, like, her babies could stink it up, and then she gonna be like, well, they did this and this and this and that. She's gonna only find the positive of what her babies did. You see what I'm saying? So I had to tell her, I was like, listen, you ain't doing them no favors. You see what I'm saying? Like, and here's the thing, I can honestly say I am not negative on like when they do good, I try. Only thing different is when my babies do good, I try to stay calm on the outside, because I'm not trying to. Sadly, there's so much haterdom. If your kid does well and you just freak out, then everyone kind of look at you like, yeah, you're annoying. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or if you cheer a little bit too hard, then they like, oh, you just about your baby. Yeah.
Yeah. The number one thing I do that makes, I just do it just to make people laugh, is I'll say, that's my baby, you know, and then I just leave it alone right there, you know. But I try not to get outside of that. I try not to get too carried away. You know? But and then in the car, when we get in the van, I if they really legitimately did good, then I'll like, hey, that's the like, to be honest with you, there's been games where they didn't even score a lot, but they just played smart, played good defense, played smart, hit the shots that that when they were open, and I said, hey, that was probably the smartest game you ever done played. You see what I mean? Like, you know, so it's not to me all about scoring. It's like, how well do you? And so I feel like I got a gift of objectivity. Some of these parents, man, they do not have that gift of objectivity at all, you know. So let's talk about we don't have any game tape. I'll try to get us some game tape for the future. But segment 9.
And if anybody that is listening wants us to break down some film or has a video for us, send it to us. Tony puts all the information in the video. Send it to us. Let us see. We love to talk about it.
Amen. And definitely.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe for the love of the game with Tony and Davis.
Next thing for the Aries family is, I might mispronounce it, you can hook me up, but Bruno's EYG is for the Aries family. And then Kim already got us, he's got Courtney and Nadia signed up. And then for us, it's Courtney trying to get ready, and I'll bleed out the name of this person because I don't want to ramp things up. But Courtney's getting ready so that she can have that showdown. You see what I'm saying? So on Courtney's mind. So Courtney's a grader, and Courtney's a 7th grader this year. So Courtney's really hyped up. But that EYG, trying to get her mentally ready for that EYG. And here's the tough part. You talk about the mental part. To get her to understand how important it is while not short circuiting her. Because
Mhm.
if I build it up and say this to, like my kid will short circuit on you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if she just feels like it's this biggest thing in the world, she will short circuit, and then we will have a long day on EYG. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I got to let her know it's important, but let her know, this is just a report card. It's not the end of the world. It's just gonna reveal where we at. You see
Yeah.
what?
And if she hasn't heard Italy's story with EYG, tell
Okay.
the Italy story. I
Yes.
mean, it went from nightmare year number one. I mean, it started off really good in year number one, and then to a nightmare, and then the bounce back. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it ain't the end of the world, but a day there, a good day there can definitely change your life. But
Amen.
it's not the end of the world if it don't, because
Amen.
they'll have it again next year.
Amen. Well, with Courtney being that injury slowing her down this year, I have been taking pictures of every time John posts anyone 2032, and no, of course, because she's been injured, she's not anywhere in the mix. So every time like that 50-50 elite posts like kids who did well at 2032, and I always send those pictures to Courtney. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you know who they ain't talking about? They're not talking about Courtney Harris. You know who they
Right.
like? So I'm just trying to use that as motivation to get to work. And she's always had a good work ethic, but I just want to throw some extra gasoline on the fire. So what are you looking ahead? What are y'all looking ahead? Is y'all's middle school season starting at the same time, or does it start later down there?
So, man, we just got here. So we're figuring everything out. Um, don't even necessarily want to announce the schools yet, but she will play A grade and then she'll play JV
Okay,
for the high school that's attached to the school that she'll be going to.
sure.
Um, I say probably by next episode we'll be ready. We'll tell you where she's going.
Awesome.
Uh,
Awesome.
but but yeah, so it'll be middle school coming up. I think the school that she's going to is having a fall league, so she'll actually play with the varsity for the fall league, and then she'll go into middle school season, and then right after that JV season. So yeah, they're getting ready to start now, I would assume as well, because she would start JV in November.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's what's coming up as far as basketball for us. Yeah,
Amen. Well, let me give props to our local Caroline middle school coach, man. He has them girls out there 5 days a week, 2 hours Monday through Friday, 2 hours from 6
yeah,
p.m. to 8 p.m. every day. So we try to supplement that, because I'm not trying to wear her out before those, but we try to supplement those just so that she's coming in there hot. But as we're wrapping this up, we always want to leave with a question, and with our new show here, our new comeback show here, we're going to leave with a question. What's
and
one?
this ties in, and I'll just say that this ties into possibly our real talk. This question that you're getting ready to ask.
That's right.
It may lead to a future segment, on this podcast, about where we have our real talk.
Amen.
So I'll let you ask the question, but that could be good, good opportunity to get the
Amen.
conversation going.
Amen. And if you don't, you can leave your answer to this question in the YouTube comments or on our Facebook comments, or you can leave it on either me or Coach Fowler's Instagram. The question is, what's one thing in youth basketball that everybody knows is a problem, but nobody wants to say it out loud? That's a big one right there. Amen. That's a big one right there. I think I know what it is.
Everybody's got that opinion. Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Just let us know what it is.
Yeah. Y'all let us know what you think it is. I think everybody, and I think everybody has a different opinion based on what they're dealing with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody deals with different things at different times, but what you call it, I think that we covered a lot of ground there. Coach Fowler, it's great to be back. And
Yes, sir.
it is great to be back. We went long. We went almost 2 hours, so I'll be editing up a lot. Amen. This time. And just let me know any guests that you want to bring on. We'll, just so y'all know, we're probably only gonna have one guest a month. But just wanted to put that out there. And it was a great chopping it up with you. Great to hear all of the stories. And like I said, even though I made my argument, I always vicariously lived through the Fowler family as y'all were traveling all the way through EYBL.
Right.
And I appreciate y'all. And any closing thoughts there, Coach Fowler?
Nope, you nailed it. Just kind of the way we're gonna kind of run things, moving forward with the segments, and then we're gonna bring on a good debate partner for you.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. I know you. I know. Listen, I know our listeners we are gonna love that piece.
We might go 3 hours.
But yeah, one guest a month, and then your debate partner. Hopefully we can get him on once a month as well, and then the other 2 weeks out of the month just be me and you chopping it up.
Well, we won't say his name because we gotta formalize everything. But I'll just say this, in the same way that God made Batman and Joker, and Joker is the opposite of Batman.
Yeah.
There is a gentleman that we'll bring on that, and I'll just say this: he's a good Christian brother. Me and Coach Fowler love him to death and everything, but I would just say when it comes to youth sports opinions, he does have me yelling at his screen quite often. Amen. So he and I think are just natural, like Skip Bayless. We could become like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, or we could definitely, because I think if he said, just so you know, I won't even say his name, but the gentleman we're thinking about bringing on, if he says it's red on his Instagram, I'm yelling at his screen saying it's blue. So
yeah.
Just about everything he says, I lovingly disagree with him on. So I think that would be a great, and Coach Fowler would have to be the referee, and keep us calmed down, and he'll have to be like, all right, hey, that's enough, Tony, your turn, gentlemen, So there's a guy out there, I think, that y'all will see. It'll be, and I think we probably will go viral, just because.
Listen, it will be an exciting segment, nonetheless, man. This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I think we will go viral, but I won't be able to live with myself if he ever wins a point. But I'll probably be beating myself up all week long if he ever wins a point. So, but yeah, I think we got that to look forward to. I think that if he decides to come on, I think that would be a great segment. But hey, it was great chopping it up with you as always, Coach Fowler. Glad that y'all are settled in, and y'all look so peaceful over there. I can see the dog running around in the back.
Did you see the dog too?
Yeah, the doggy was running around in the back. Yeah. It's nice, man. It's nice, brother. Hey, man.
Yeah. It was nice, man. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, man. God bless you.
Get back at it.
Y'all be good now.
That's all, folks.